Well, taking his well-known page from the humorous spoof holiday in which people could air their grievances on Seinfeld, Senator Rand Paul, the Republican of Kentucky, ended 2023 with his annual Festivus Report, exposing approximately $900 billion in federal government waste.
Happy Festivus!
It's enough to burn up one's mental yule log, to melt a few candy canes, and send Rudolph's nose into a blaze. Because the federal panderers and elitist thieves who tell us they're investing in our future are stealing our money, opportunities, time, and freedom. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV. And yes, it's coming up to the end of the year and we get the annual Festivus Report from Senator Paul. You see whether you think it's complete or perhaps maybe a few things should be added to it. Here is just a little bit of what Rand Paul's office notes. Quote, some of the highlights include the National Institutes of Health spending a portion of a $2.7 million grant to study Russian cats walking on a treadmill and Barbies used as proof of ID for receiving COVID Paycheck Protection Program funds. That's not a television script, everybody. That's not a joke. It's faux real. Adds Paul's office, quote, the Department of Defense ruined over $169 million worth of military equipment by leaving it outside. The United States Agency for International Development spent $6 million, was that Steve Austin and the $6 million man? No, to promote tourism in Egypt. And the Small Business Administration gave so-called struggling music artists like Post Malone, Chris Brown, and Lil Wayne over $200 million. And of course, there's plenty more, each title representing a section of the report. Barbie doll photo used to get COVID PPP funds, portion of $800 billion. In the red, interest on our national debt is expensive. $659 billion. Dr. Fauci's monkey business on NIH's Monkey Island, $33,200,000. USAID fund to boost Egyptian tourism, you got that, the $6 million. USDA's cutting-edge research, walking dogs in the summer, unknown. DHS training employees to be their authentic and best selves, unknown. Russian cats on the treadmill studies by the NIH, a portion of the $2,700,000. The government pays dead people, again, thanks to the COVID handouts, $38 million. The Department of Defense's lobster tank that the DoD bought at $8,395. And of course, there's plenty more. You can keep spreading the cheer all year round. There's the Real Fake, DHS's first graphic novel about disinformation. Well, the price tag for that one is unknown, but of course, they know they paid for it. DHS's second graphic novel, because I mean, who wouldn't just want the sequel? Electric DoD Boogaloo. That price also unknown, all about COVID so-called disinformation. Then there's the NIH's meth head monkeys, literally giving meth to caged monkeys. That one took up a portion of $12 million. Then, as Rand Paul's office says, there's the Treasury's pot of cash for political campaigns. Paul's office notes that as of November 1st, 2023, no major political party actually is accepting these funds, which are fed by that classic IRS filing checkbox that lets suckers send money into the IRS coffers to fund campaigns. Yeah, that's right. The money is being held by the government, and so far it totals, get this, $400 million. Then there's the NIH's Monkey Casino. Oh, this sounds like it was a real pleasure for the monkeys. Gambling for drinking water. It was another insane behavioral study that ought to be viewed as animal cruelty, and that only took up a portion of the $3.7 million for the NHS for that portion of their funding. Then there's the SBA's Ticket to Backstage, subsidizing talent agencies, comedy clubs, theaters, movie theaters, music venues, and musicians termed, get this, small business owners. That was $200 million, by the way. Then there's studying COVID-19 so-called misinformation. That was on social media, and they did this for Black and rural communities, just to, throw a little racism in there as well. That was $3.8 million. And Dr. Fauci's transgender monkey study. Well, that was only $477,000, so you got that on the cheap, everybody. I know you must be really happy about that. As one gazes agog at this astronomical amount of waste and considers the theft of tax cash, the debt laid on future generations, and the sheer conceit of these kinds of wasteful pork programs, one might also ask a deeper, long-lasting question. Is this all of the waste? Well, in fact, as a lecturer on economics, I've tried to help my students understand that this certainly is not all the waste, and that, in fact, as a sheer function of human integrity and the reality of valuation, everything that political institutions do is wasteful. This is axiomatic because valuation is subjective only through voluntary action over one's own life and with one's own time and resources being considered by oneself. Can a person say that something has value to himself or herself? One says it only for himself in a market exchange that then is reflected in the market. When one makes an exchange with another person who does the same, both people show their valuations in goods for service, money for goods, money for service, barter, even in the most simple things in life like spending time on a conversation or a walk rather than working an extra hour. When politicians take our money, that attack immediately, and again, axiomatically, negates our ability to show our personal valuations. It replaces those personal valuations with artificial mandates that the politicians prefer. Yet, of course, the politicians, they're not using their own money, so they can't be said to be reflecting their own values. I gotta say, Rand and I have been acquainted for years, and his Festivus Report is essential reading for anyone interested in the most inflammatory aspects of government spending. But most of the spending that is not even mentioned in this report is unconstitutional, and beyond that, all government seizure of your money is a theft of your ability to determine what is valuable to you. Same thing for me. We're supposed to be free individuals. That's what life is supposed to be. And yet, they assume for us our own decisions. Isn't that wasteful enough in every respect? Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Happy New Year approaching. I hope you can look forward to a great 2024. Again, nice transition. In 2024, every day, if you get the opportunity, go to MRCTV.org. That's MRCTV.org. And find out what the whole team is doing. While you're there, consider donating to the Media Research Center, and please visit the MRC Store to find some great items. You can also find us on Parler, TikTok, Instagram, in the Facebook MRC-TV page, and you can find us on Twitter. And if you want to find me on Twitter, I'm at Gard Goldsmith, G-A-R-D Goldsmith. And if you want to find me on Gab, it's Gardner Goldsmith. Thanks so much, everybody. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.